He has named Shedeur Sanders the starter for 1 week, Daryl. That's all he's got. He's got 1 week. He gets the San Francisco game, and then we'll go from there.
Who was that guy talking on Zoom today? That could not have been Kevin Stefanski. I feel like Kevin has been possessed by somebody.
Like the Monstars in Space Jam?
Yes.
Just somebody came and took over his body?
So somebody has stolen Kevin Stefanski's mojo. He never makes those announcements on Monday. We were talking before the show, and you're like, hey, what are they going to do? I'm like, well, this is Kevin. He certainly was going to announce it last night. He's probably not going to announce it today. He's probably going to say that Dillon Gabriel's still in the protocol and we have to evaluate the situation and this, that, and the other. And lo and behold, he comes out today and he's like, yeah, sure, I won a game yesterday. He can play this weekend against the 49ers. I was like, okay, fantastic, great. We don't have to worry about that on Wednesday. Thank you very much, Coach.
I think it was just so obvious that he had no other recourse but to do it.
Yeah, I mean.
That's all it was.
Well, okay, hypothetical. If he would have gone back to Dillon Gabriel, right? If he would have said Dillon's the starter, and he's out of protocol, Dillon's going to start against the 49ers, how do you sell that to anybody? How do you sell that to the locker room? And then also, too, how do you sell it to the fans that have tickets for Sunday's game against San Francisco?
Yeah, you couldn't. You couldn't. He was, again, but this is what we told Shedeur to do going into this game, is you had to make it undeniable. And he did. And so, all the credit in the world goes to Shedeur. I will, at some point, we can discuss whether or not Stefanski gets some semblance of credit or anything as far as the game plan, as far as all that is concerned. The quick TLDR version of that is going to be, basically, I'm not there yet. Right. I'm just not. We watched Shedeur be really, really good in a few different plays in that game and really showcase what he can do. And I just don't know that was necessarily because Stefanski or Tommy Rees did anything awesome. I think people are lining up to give Stefanski credit because that's how this works. But if he was that great at his job in getting just basically whoever to be able to perform, then wouldn't you have already done that through the first, 10 games of the season? Like Shedeur deserves credit in this, and I just don't want to strip him of that. I feel like the part that gets me angry about that conversation, Daryl, is the people that are giving a bunch of credit to Stefanski today feel like you're doing it because you don't want to give credit to Shedeur, and that's where it feels wrong.
I don't know if they don't want to give credit to Shedeur. I don't know necessarily. I think Tommy Rees deserves more credit than Kevin does because Tommy Rees is the one now that's legitimately in charge of the offense. He's the one now putting these. Kevin, this is what Kevin told us a couple weeks ago. Kevin's the final decider, the decision maker, whatever. But it's Tommy Rees' show to run with it. Put the game plan together, the script.
But do you think he'd be doing this? Do you think he'd be doing this with Dillon Gabriel? We know that answer. That answer is no.
Because Dillon doesn't have those intangibles that Shedeur does.
Of course he doesn't. And so I guess maybe that's where I get a little angry about it. It's like, well, it's obvious. Shedeur can stretch the field. He can throw the ball deep. He can do all this. And so where I'm falling short and giving Stefanski a bunch of credit is then this is also the guy that then, October 7th said, congratulations, you're the backup quarterback. And made Dillon Gabriel the starting quarterback while then having Shedeur as the backup in that instance. And it's like, I don't know that you get to walk away unscathed out of all this. I don't know that you get to walk away looking shiny clean when for months you told us that he wasn't ready. For months you told us that he couldn't do the job and this and that and all these other type of things. And then it turns out not only can he do the job, he can win you games as well.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he won one game. Let's see if he can turn that into a plural this weekend and put the S on the end of it.
Okay, fair.
Okay, let's see if he can go out there and do it again. Tennessee's coming up on the schedule. That's certainly a winnable game as well.
But he's got to get there, and that's the sad part. Is he's already in the spot where he's got to get there.
Again, he's on probation. He not double secret probation, but he is on probation, and it's a week to week situation. But I don't know how you can even at this point, barring an injury, and I hate saying it because I don't want to put that out into the ether there, but barring an injury, I don't even know how you can go back to Dillon Gabriel at this point. Just watching that sideline, okay? Just watching that sideline and the reactions every time CBS would cut to the Browns sideline with Shedeur either on the field or when the defense is on the field and Shedeur's on the side of his side, we're prepping for the next drive.
Yeah.
Seeing the involvement and the enthusiasm of everybody. And maybe I'm being completely unfair. Maybe I'm misreading the situation. Fine. All I can go by is what I see with my 4 eyes. And what I saw with my 4 eyes is that they were more into the game yesterday than it felt like they had been in a couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, without question.
And that's just human nature. Like, I get it. I understand it. It's like you're sleepwalking through 4 quarters with Dylan Gabriel out there.
Well, but
you had no chance to win with Dylan Gabriel on the field. You had a chance to win last week against Baltimore. It didn't pan out. That's life. That's sports. This past week, that's kind of the point, though, is that like I don't think it's an accident when, for instance, they go to Dylan Gabriel looking for a spark in week 5. That spark doesn't happen. They change the play calling duties to Tommy Rees looking for that spark. That spark doesn't happen. But then the guy that we've told you the entire time is an igniter, is somebody that can give you that spark. He gets inserted into the game, gets a full week to prep, and then starts. And then there we go. We got this big energy boost. You were 2-8. Your season's over.
I don't think
you
that's
needed
an accident.
something. You needed something to inject
life. I don't think it's an accident. This is where I want to give Shedeur a bunch of credit. Is I don't think it's an accident that they all of a sudden got that jolt of energy and that spark with the one guy we've been telling you the entire time that could offer that up. This is what he does.
You know what quote just popped into my head right now as you were saying that?
What's that?
Mari Cooper, when Joe Flacco was here in 2023.
Oh, yes, that's right. Yeah.
The energy multiplier.
That's right. Energy multiplier.
That's what
I remember you talking about that in particular, yes.
That's what Shedeur Sanders is for this football team right now. Okay, season's over. Like, this is all about evaluation and getting ready for 2026 and seeing what you need.
Will this turn into a Joe Flacco-like experience, though?
No, well, I'm going to say no just from the standpoint Joe got you to the playoffs. You have no chance there.
Even if we got dog-walked by Houston and in a game that is the biggest financial wager I have ever lost in a sporting event, by the way. Fun fact about that Browns-Texans game.
Friends in the desert took you?
I bet I didn't see a way the Browns are losing that game. I still have a hard time looking back and seeing how they lost that game the way that they did.
Not only did they lose,
they got dog-walked.
That's a very kind way to put it.
They got dog-walked. Shedeur made plays that a lot of people a week ago didn't think was possible. He made plays and looked comfortable in the pocket, and he did everything you would want and need him to do. Now, there was one place, though, that we can get on. One place that I thought the Browns universally made the fan base angry. Again, this is just in a whole web of awesomeness that was yesterday. Jeudy, even though you can make an argument, at least initially making the play, the biggest play of the season that he's had, then messed up. And here was Nathan Zagura on the call as it happened. Here we go.
Jeudy just didn't sense Chin coming from the backside. Now, that's what I talked about earlier. Cover 3, you run the clear out and then the deep dig over. Shedeur Sanders did a great job buying time, found Jeudy down the field, but somebody's got to be calling to him, fanning. Somebody's got to talk, say ball, 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 wolf, 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 whatever the call is to let him know to cover that football up because he basically was going down. He had 3 guys kind of hops in the air. That's a big turnover now.
That courtesy of the Browns Radio Network. Are you done with Jeudy, Daryl?
No, but it's frustrating. I don't know what's going on with him right now. Oh, look, I understand his frustration. I mentioned this with the morning guys because they asked me the same thing. And look, I get the frustration. When he was in Denver, it was a constant carousel of quarterbacks. Mm-hmm. I get it, and it's been that way his first 2 years with the Browns. Okay, we've lost count of the amount of quarterbacks he's had to play with. He was real surly last week. Well, surly is the wrong word.
He was just short.
Yeah, just didn't want to talk to us last week, and that's fine. I get it. Listen, there are days where I wouldn't want to answer my stupid questions either. So I get it. I understand it. No issue there. But then when you're not going out and doing your job on the field, that's when I start to have a problem. And for the most part this year, he's not done his job. He's dropped a lot of passes. And then yesterday, finally a big play for him, for the offense, right? And I think he was stopping to make a cut. I think like because after he had the ball and he started running upfield, he stopped as if like he was trying to figure out what he wanted to do next.
Yeah.
Okay, choose your own adventure.
Yeah.
And he hit the fumble button. They punched it out, and it cost the Browns a scoring opportunity. Luckily, it ultimately didn't. It wasn't a significant play in the game that changed the course of the game or whatever, but those are the type of plays that can change the course of the game, and they have changed courses of games for the Browns historically over the years. So I don't know what's going on with him. I will just say this, get it fixed. fix it. Whatever it is. Hopefully it's nothing, in his personal life or whatever. These are human beings. Let's not forget that.
Yeah.
So whatever it is, Jerry, get it fixed. Okay? Life's too short to be grumpy. Life's too short to you have a tremendous opportunity now with Shedeur on the field. He's going to throw you the ball down the field. Okay, I realize it was frustrating. You're running all these routes for nothing. You're just getting your cardio in every week with Dillon Gabriel at quarterback because he's not getting you the ball. But now you got Shedeur. Now be happy. You got a guy that's going to be able to get you the ball down the field and that wants to get you the ball down the field. But that lack of attention to detail, not only with catching the ball consistently, but in that particular situation, Jonathan, that was a lack of focused play.
I know. I felt bad for him though because it felt like he just got so excited. He was just like he was like a puppy. He just got so excited and he was ready to go. And he made a big play. And the part that I don't want to escape from is the idea that he did in fact make a big time play before the fumble. He made what was going to be a 40-yard gain and set you up either for a touchdown or a field goal. It's just between the drops and then the fumble. I understand if a Browns fan is incredibly frustrated with what is supposed to be your number one wide receiver.
But this is part of the problem for him, not for him, but just organizationally. They've got him in a role that he shouldn't even be in.
As the number one?
Yeah, he shouldn't be a number one.
I know, but they paid him, and they paid him without ever even seeing him. They gave him that extension, and it was something I criticized at the time, and I felt like for a whole year people lobbed back in my face, which you guys were right to. He had a 1,000-yard season last year. He looked much better, but this isn't it. He still led the league in drops now last year and now this year as well.
Yeah, I feel like we're getting Denver Jerry Jeudy right now.
Yeah, and it took a little bit for Denver Jerry Jeudy. That's one thing I reminded people of last week is that idea that it didn't happen instantly where all of a sudden Denver Jerry Jeudy came out and it was just problematic. Now, I'd actually given Jerry credit that up until a couple weeks ago, Daryl, it seemed like he was doing better. It seemed like it was like, even though his production wasn't good, he wasn't Denver Jerry Jeudy.
He was being a team player. He was saying positive things about Dillon Gabriel, even though we all know what we were seeing out there.
Way too positive of things almost of Dillon Gabriel.
Right, and then I don't know, it felt like his energy has changed. And I hope now his energy shifts back to the way it was earlier in the year. Because I think if that happens, I think good things are going to happen for Jerry Jeudy. I think good things will happen for Shedeur Sanders. And I think good things will happen for the Cleveland Browns.
Can he take that one play as a positive enough, though? I think that's what I want to know. And I want to hear from you guys. 216-474-0092. Are you done with Jerry Jeudy? Is now the time to give up on him? You still got another year and a half in this contract. I don't know that now is the time to give up on him. But if you're trying to build out your roster, you're trying to get this thing moving in the right direction, do you have to look at these type of things? Because he goes from being a really good player to a headache really, really quickly, and I can't even say really good player at this point.
Well, I forget what I was watching last night, but they had the conversation about that, and the question was, how do you recover that? What do you tell Shedeur Sanders, or what do you tell Kevin Stefanski if you're Jerry Jeudy? And they said, my bad will never happen again. That needs to be the response from Jerry Jeudy now. Oh, my bad, guys. It's not going to happen again.
I mean, he did. To his credit, he looked crushed on the field.
Yeah.
It's not everything when a player just falls down to their knees and then looks like they'd rather be anywhere. He looked like me curling up in my bed on a Sunday morning, it's not everything that he did that, but he did that. I thought that mattered because it didn't show that he, sometimes players get up and they just kind of walk to the sidelines as if
it is what it is.
Check still clears. I'm like Evel Knievel. I get paid for the attempt. And I hate when players have that attitude. He seemed genuinely like, I can't believe it. I finally got my big catch. I finally got my big moment down the sideline. It's happening with Shedeur. I was going for a move, and then that happened. I felt awful for him. I know why it was insufferable to a lot of Browns fans, and I get the frustration. But in a game you ended up winning, I looked at him and I felt empathy there. This was Stefanski, by the way, on what happened in that play with Jerry Jeudy.
I think he was setting the player in front of him up to make a move there. He will be better. That's really a play that we expect him to make. That's a huge play for our football team. We're about to get 7 points, if not 3, on that drive, and that's a big play for us. And Jerry knows this, and we remind him and remind our players. It's always the guy that you can't see that they're coming. So I don't think it was a loaf. It was a lack of ball security technique.
What did you take from that?
Yeah, and I agree with Kevin, and I saw some of the comments that were being made on social media yesterday about, because fans were thinking that and posting, there's Jerry Jeudy just giving up on a play, and I don't think that's what it was. It looked to me like he was, again, like Kevin mentioned, he was stopping, trying to either set up the defender in front of him, or he, in his mind, was trying to figure out where am I going now? Like, where's my open path? Do I go up the sideline, or do I cut it inside?
Well, I mean, but he did get cocky with it, though. When you do that jump up like that, like, you're getting a little cocky with it.
I know, and when he did that, though, the ball left the points of pressure, right? The ball was exposed, and that's when it got punched. And it's like, so he just has to be more cognizant in that situation. But it is frustrating because, again, it is a player that has not caught the ball consistently. And it's the guy who's supposed to be the number one wide receiver on the team, and he's been, by the way the wide receiver room is paid right now, by those standards, he's been paid as the number one wide receiver amongst that group. And so and he's a veteran, so my standards are higher for him, right?
I know, but I always want to kind of remind people of the idea that, and this is where I just don't crush him. You're right, his standards are higher.
I don't think I'm crushing him.
I don't think you are either.
I just think that he's the number one guy in that room, and you need to play like it.
I don't think you are, but I do think there are people out there that are crushing him right now today. And the reminder I would give is that when you go from Flacco, who felt like he was wearing golden handcuffs, and then you go to Dylan Gabriel, in some sense, he wasn't really given a true chance to shine this year anyway. I mean, look at Justin Jefferson's numbers. Justin Jefferson is one of the best wide receivers entering the NFL this year. You'd say it's Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase. Those are your 1 and your 2. It's not as if Jefferson's fallen off a cliff,
right?
But put him with J.J. McCarthy and look at how those numbers have completely fallen off the face of the earth. Like, as much as we talk about wide receivers helping out quarterbacks, quarterbacks help out wide receivers in an immense way too. And so, there's a part of me that I don't know. I got happy that he just made the initial play, because I feel like fumbling in that situation is something that, all right, he did it once, it's done, it's over. At least it came in this game. Next time he gets a play like that, he's not going to try to be jumping up and being smooth as can be about it. He's going to know, I got to protect the football, and then I got to get down as well if need be. And so I feel like it's going to be something that'll be all right in the future. But with Shedeur, I hope Jerry Jeudy is one of these players that we talked about earlier that just benefits and just looks better, because really, that is a very unfair, and he took the money, and that's what the money is for when you sign up for the Cleveland Browns, but that is a very unfair lot in life, to be given 4 games of a shackled Joe Flacco and then 6 games of Dylan Gabriel throwing 5 yards a dot. Like, I mean, that's not fair to Jerry Jeudy in any sense either.
No, but again, he's paid handsomely to do a job, and he's got to go out there and do it. And I really hope that Shedeur being out there now re-energizes him.
Yeah,
because I just feel, and look, you mentioned his reaction right after that happened. I think that part of that reaction is, man, here we go. I finally get a shot to make a play, and I blew it. No one else, me. And that's when you have those honest moments, right? When you are self-accountable. And that's why I'm not going to sit here and say I'm done with Jerry Jeudy, or that he's a problem child, or that they need to move on from him, or anything like that, because I don't think that's fair. We all have bad days. We all get in our moods and have our ups and downs in life. And like I said, whatever's going on with him, I hope he's able to fix it. I hope it works out. I hope everything is okay. But then, 2, the production on the field returns, because that's what he's being paid for. And now he's being paired with a quarterback, at least for another week, that is going to give him opportunities down the field. Mm-hmm. So take advantage of those opportunities. Take care of the football when it comes to you, and everything's going to work itself out. Because if you end up making plays for Shedeur, that's going to help Shedeur stay on the field, which is going to then multiply your opportunity to make plays. I call that the circle of life.
The circle of life. Okay. I find myself in a weird spot.
I saw you following that. You knew
I legitimately followed your actual circle as you did you did the all the way up and around. I followed the whole, like I was trying to pass a sobriety test or something.
That's follow the finger.
Okay, that's what I was doing. I was following the finger all the way up, all the way down. I find myself in a weird spot because I'm not one to defend Jerry Jeudy often, especially since I was the guy. I was on the air here on this spot when they gave him the extension and when they signed him and then gave him a bunch of money when you needed to pay even people like Amari Cooper at the time. And it was like, all right, here you go, Jerry. Here's your money.
Yeah, but guess what? Turns out not paying Amari Cooper was the right move.
They were right in that respect. But I was the person that was like, you're really going to, as we bring on Mark Schlereth, and we were like within the hour, and Schlereth is like,
because Schlereth
kills him. He's like, he's an athlete. He's not a football player, is what he said.
might have been in with you that day because I remember that. Because Schlereth came on and just absolutely killed him.
And so I'm in a weird spot where I'm defending him. It just feels like a lot of people are just done with Jerry. And I don't know, Daryl, if there's a proper reaction outside of I get it, but I did kind of leave a little encouraged with the idea that he made the big play to begin with. Obviously, you can't fumble in that spot. Fumbling is a disaster. And I'm not betting on Jerry Jeudy long term. He has been on a milk carton more weeks than not. But there's a part of me that I just can't escape when you have this line of quarterbacks up until Shedeur. That's why he made a big play before the fumble. Up until Shedeur, when it's Joe Flacco and Dylan Gabriel, and a handcuffed Joe Flacco at that, I almost wonder if he just throws his hands up in the air and says, what am I supposed to do?
Yeah, well, right now he's having the worst season he's had since 2021 with the Broncos. It's not even close.
Yeah, it's not even close.
He had 38 catches in 2021 with the Broncos for 467 yards, no touchdowns that year. This year, he's at 32 catches, 395, just one touchdown, and his longest catch was the one he made yesterday, the 39 yards. But his final year in Denver, he ended that season with 54 catches for 758 and 2 touchdowns, and I think that's right now the pace that he is on.
Yeah.
Just, they got 6 games to play here. That's the pace that he's on to be in that particular ballpark. But I just feel like with Shedeur on the field now, he's going to get opportunities now because, people want to bring up the targets versus receptions, and I think that's a deceptive statistic because if it's a throwaway, okay, and it's in your direction, you get charged with a target.
Right.
And so that's a poor reflection on you, and the ball wasn't even really meant to be caught because it's a throwaway. So I don't think that that's a fair metric, but you got to make the plays when the ball comes to you. And unfortunately, this year, I think he's been lulled to sleep in some regards because it hasn't been consistent. Mm-hmm. And so then when it comes to him, it's that, oh, geez, what do you know? They remember I'm still on the team.
Well, that's why the Jets game. That's why the Jets game was so important because they just fed him a bunch, and it was like once you tell once he was engaged, and he had his best game of the season in that Jets game.
6 for 78 and a score.
Yeah, it was like just feed him a little bit, let him know
he's not a number one wide receiver. He's being asked to play a role that just doesn't fit him.
Yeah,
and listen,
I agree.
That's not me dogging on Jerry at all, not by any stretch of the imagination. This team does not have a number one wide receiver, and so Jerry has to step into that role because he's all they have. But he's better suited to be a 2 in the hierarchy, route, whatever you want to call it, right?
Yeah,
that's what he's suited as. But at the same time, you have an opportunity to show that, even though if that isn't your game, but it can be. And again, when you're going through what he's gone through in his career as far as the volume of quarterbacks, it's hard to really have any consistency as a player.
Yeah, because he had a bunch of them in Denver, too.
And I think it's 5 or 6 so far now with the Browns in 2 years. That's really hard. I get it. I do. I understand.
Let me ask you this, though. Do you think, I made that excuse for Elijah Moore, and then Elijah Moore in Buffalo has done nothing, right?
Right. Yeah.
So, if we put Jerry Jeudy on a different team, throw him on, let's even put him on a good team, put him on Kansas City, do the drops all of a sudden go away?
I can't answer that.
Because I don't think they do.
I don't know how to answer that. I would hope. I would hope so. But
that's a problem I have, even though I have this defensive Jerry right now.
I mean, if you can't be focused to catch passes from Patrick Mahomes, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. I don't know why you're in the profession.
Well, because if he keeps playing like he's playing, that's where he's going to end up. Because one of those wide receiver cast-offs that Mahomes always ends up having, where it was like you had a bunch of talent, the league put up with you for 6 or 7 years, you got paid a decent amount of money, and here you're in Kansas City because that's where it seems like every wide receiver goes at the end of their career, and then Mahomes makes them look decent.
Yeah.
He makes them look better than they typically are, but at that point, you're already done. You're already shot.